and kind of doing a fun day at some point with that, and going over that and showing it to them, and maybe letting some of them try it out if they're really respectful about it. But you just kind of go over that a little bit, explain it. Don't spend too much time on that, because they're gonna forget half of what you showed them, and they're gonna be asking you next week, what's that thing called again? It takes a little while to remember all that, so just kind of go over that as we go on.
One thing I just thought of, for guitar teachers that were with us last year, we've done some modifications. So just to let you know, all of the guitars, acoustic and electric, are going to have the same dots. Some of them didn't have the third dot, so they all now have a third dot. Also on the electric guitars, all the input jacks have been taken out and glued in there. So that will hopefully eliminate a lot of the problems we had last year with input jacks not working. Really hope it works, because it was a lot of work.
Yeah, that's going to be the most common thing on the electric guitar that's going to fail, is the input jack. Even though I'm pretty confident that the gluing them the way we did is going to make it, it's going to work out pretty well. Occasionally, kids are kids. If anything's going to be able to be broken, a kid's going to figure out a way to do it. So you got to watch for that. If you see kids sitting there and pulling and picking things apart, absolutely address that, not only to them, but you don't want to make an example of them and make them feel bad, but you want to explain to the rest of the class, we got to treat these with respect. You don't want to pull the volume knob off the guitar. You don't want to do anything like that, so that they kind of understand that right off the bat. I explained after explaining that, I'll go over with the kids on how the snake cable system works, and really make sure that you explain to them that it's a privilege, and that if they're not respectful of it, they're going to lose that privilege. You have control over their volume at all times. So if you have a scenario where they're not being respectful of you, or they're not being respectful of somebody performing, then you turn their volume down. And you can do that here. So you'll have the channels right here. 8 channels will be in one plug here, and 8 in another on this. You just turn that down, and then they want to be able to hear themselves amplified, so that'll make them behave. And so you go over that with them, kind of explain it to them, tell them they need to be careful, watch out for the cables, don't trip over them, don't pick at them. Also, another big thing, and I think this is something that actually ruined a lot of input jacks last year, was it's pretty difficult for the kids to actually get that cable out at the end of the day. And for some of them, it's hard to get the cable into the guitar. They're going to struggle with it. So I just always tell them, if you can't, if for the older kids, they're going to want to do it. They're going to want to take the cable out themselves. For the most part, they're capable of it. Just make sure you tell them to pull the cable right here at the base. Don't just, if you see a kid dragging a guitar by the cable or something, obviously you got to handle that. And just tell them if they're having trouble getting the cable out, just raise their hand. Either the teacher or assistant will take it out for them, and then they don't have to worry about that. We use in our guitar series. It's a little different this year. We're using tablature right from the get-go. Does everybody know what guitar tablature is here? Everybody does, right? Okay.
I do.
We're using guitar tablature because it's a different kind of it's a different crowd guitar, and it's a very easy way for them to start learning, having fun with it, playing songs, and moving along without getting frustrated. It's a little different. Notation for guitar is a little bit, especially when you start getting into having chords written out and things, it's going to really confuse a lot of them. And I know, I hope I'm not just speaking for myself, but I know a lot of guitar players get frustrated with using notation when they're trying to read that. A lot of guitar players prefer tablature. It's kind of how the whole system is designed. You got the amazing Tracy, who can do it all. she's classically,
having to go back on myself.
Classically trained. She's amazing at that. But so you'll want to kind of go over tablature. Let me.
It kind of, we found that it enables the kids to be able to move along faster and to get to play more of the stuff that they want to play. And it keeps their interest, which then keeps them in class, because it makes it more fun. So.
Everybody's good on, all right? Okay, so you basically, you just explain to them, you can all see the cursor? This explains to them on the, for the first few songs, and probably every now and again, just as a little bit of a reminder, we'll have it labeled right over here. Each line is, you know, a particular string, so they can see that, so you don't want to explain that right off the bat. Some of them are already going to have a music notation background. They've already taken a little bit of music lessons in school, so they may already know that. You don't want them to confuse that with the staff. So you explain that to them. Explain the numbers are not how many times you play, because that's what they're originally going to think. They're going to see 0. Well, they usually know 0. I mean, don't play anything, but you know what I'm saying. If they see a 5 on the high E, they might think, if you just, when you're first explaining it to them, I usually ask them, does anybody have a guess what they think that is? A common misconception is they'll think that I play it 5 times. So you want to kind of explain to them that that's the fret that they're going to hit on that string. With tablature, explaining quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes is a little bit different. Tablature, if you guys looked up stuff on the internet, there's not much standards for it. It's kind of just like people make up their own little rule for it. We're trying to kind of, we kind of have a hybrid between some of the standards that are out there in tab and some of the standards in notation. So in book 1, let me get to one of the pages that actually.
It does explain at the top of that these are all quarter notes. Quarter note gets 1 beat. So they are learning that along with
Yeah, it's just written. It's a little different reading it on tab. Quarter notes, pretty simple. Quarter note rests, pretty easy to see. It's standard. The thing that's a little bit different in book 1 is the size of the font used for the note is going to be an indicator of that's a quarter note, a half note, or a whole note. And also a quick way is just to look at how many notes are in there. If you look at half note party page right here, you can see there's 3 notes in that measure. It's 4 time. The first 2 are quarter notes. The last one's a half note.
half note's it's a larger font.
Yeah.
So it just kind of visually.
And what do you do with the whole note?
Whole note is an even larger font, and is only the easiest way to tell that is that if there's only 1 note in that measure, it's got to be a whole note.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a little bit, at first it's a little bit weird, but this is actually one of the only things that's kind of standardized for a lot of tablature. When I was a kid and I first looked at it, nobody ever explained it to me, and I'm like, this is kind of odd. How do you tell what the musical notes, what the timing is? But then once I learned that, it made a lot of sense. It's really easy to work with. So I think that kids, and we've tried it out on different kids, and it's easy for them to pick up. It also kind of plays on. We've noticed too with the guitar classes in particular, there's a lot of by ear learning that goes on with that. I think it's a little bit more common to that instrument than violin or piano and a lot of other things. A kid, you could show a kid this page, for instance, they may look like complete nonsense to them, but if you just said, just clap the rhythm for them and explain it to them, they get it like that. Okay, so you kind of want to the approach for the guitar classes. You want to kind of get both of those ideas across. You want to make sure that you're explaining the rhythm to it. A really easy way to get kids to understand the rhythm if they're having trouble reading it at first is clap it. Have everybody clap the song. One of the songs last year that we used it all the time that I am really just, I could go a couple years without hearing it this morning is Iron Man. Okay. Now, having said that, Iron Man, the kids still love that riff. It's a wonderful control tool for the guitar class because you can just bust out into playing that riff and everybody will just like stay quiet and they just want to hear that. But that was a hard one for a lot of kids to learn, especially reading it. They look at it and like, I'll never be able to do that. I can't, never do that. And I'd have clap the rhythm to it. Try playing along to this, clap your hands to it. If you can clap the rhythm along with it, which almost all of them could, then you just have to teach your fingers to be able to move in that same rhythm, that same speed. They might not come right away, but a lot of kids, I mean, there was kids that couldn't even, you wouldn't even know that they were playing anything remotely similar to Iron Man. And then you go over that with them, have them clap the rhythm. 1 or 2 weeks later, it sounded a lot more like the real thing, and they're getting closer to being able to play it. So
same thing works for violin and piano too.
Yeah, that's always a good way.
If you're having trouble with it, clap the rhythm out. And the kids really enjoy that. We'll actually have some different rhythm sheets where they're